Yo, what it do, wealth champions? Y'all know what time it is, man. It is Monday morning, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. So that means it is time for the Cortez Hustle Show, the show dedicated specifically to all of the hustlers around the world, St. Louis hustlers, international hustlers, worldwide hustlers. If you are trying to make it in this economy and you understand the power of entrepreneurship, then this, my friend, is your show. We've got a wonderful show lined up for you guys this morning. We're going to be going into part 2 of our 5-part installment of Monetize My Life, based on my best-selling book, Monetize My Life, 4 incredibly simple ways to turn your passions into profit with little to no startup cost. Today, we're going to be focusing on teaching what you know and the profits and the power of teaching what you know. Valerie, good morning. Do me a favor, if you guys are coming into the stream, comment where you're from. Let us also know if you're an entrepreneur, the name of your business and or your brand. As I always tell you, man, if you ain't shouting you out, I don't know who is. Make sure you let us know a little bit about what you do without posting a link in the comments. Keep in mind, there's over 100,000 followers to this page, ladies and gentlemen. So you never know who might want to connect with you, buy from you, partner with you, or whatever, but they know what you do. Remember, it ain't about who you know. It's about who knows you and what they know about you. So we're going to talk about the power and profits of teaching what you know. We're going to talk about the why and the how. We're going to talk about frameworks, platforms, and mediums, and the 3 areas of monetization. So let me know what it is that you do, where you're tuning in from, and the name of your business and or your brand. I'm going to go ahead and run my disclaimer this morning so we get that out the way so we can officially start the show. Welcome, everybody, to the Cortez Hustle Show. The Cortez Hustle Show is a copyrighted production of iHustle Media Group. Any unauthorized use of the video, audio, captions, depictions of this show without express written consent of iHustle Media Group is strictly prohibited. iHustle Media Group, a better way to market.
And now back to the Cortez Hustle Show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from ThorntonOnlineMarketing.com. And I am excited about today's episode. We are continuing our series on Monetize My Life. How do you take your gifts, your talents, your special abilities, and turn them into income? Is what we're talking about today. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, you can do that with little to no startup cost. If you missed episode number 1, I'll put a link to it somewhere on this episode. But we talked about in episode number 1, the importance of exposing people what you know. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. And in order for you to build a know, like, and trust factor, the first thing you have to do is expose people to what it is that you know. You have to position yourself as an authority in order for them to know, like, and trust you. Let people know your gifts, your talents, your passions, those things that that will set you apart from everybody else in your field, right? That's important. So if you missed that, I'll make sure that I link to that somewhere around this video or in the description of the actual podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that you can always catch the Cortez Hustle Show on your latest podcasting platforms, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever you like to download podcasts from. We are there. I can promise you that, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to follow your boy on IG, Cortez Hustle STL. Again, follow me on IG at Cortez Hustle STL. So today we're going to focus on teaching what you know. In the book, I talk about 5 things that you need to do in order to monetize what you know. You must expose what you know. You must teach what you know. You must learn to sell what you know. You must learn to digitize what you know. And then you must learn how to add automation. So today we're focusing on teaching what you know. Now, Last week we covered exposing what you know, but it's one thing to expose people to what you know. It's something entirely different to actually teach them so that they can get a desired result. And some people are a little bit afraid about this because they just don't know how it's going to work. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you don't know how anything is going to work until you actually do it. So why would you be wanting to teach somebody what you know? Ladies and gentlemen, the Bible talks about no greater love has a man than one who will lay down his life for a friend, right? So if that's the greatest love, is laying down your life for a friend, I think the second greatest thing that you can do for anybody is to teach them something that they could use for the rest of their lives. And chances are you got a gift, you got a talent, you got a special ability, you do something better than most. You've gone through an experience that you've overcome, right? And if you were to teach that to someone so that they can overcome it, so that they can leverage that education for the rest of their lives, I think that is one of the best things that you can do. That is why I love to do this podcast. That's why I love to do video live streams. That's why I love to do my workshops and my webinars, because if I can impart to you something that I know that has served me well and has created a positive effect in my life, then especially if I can do that effectively in a way that you can actually get it and apply it in your life, that's how transformation happens. That is the truest sense of empowerment, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why you want to teach what you know. You can help other people break the chains that are holding them back mentally, socially, economically, emotionally, because we've all got a gift, talent, special ability, experience, or expertise at something. And if you learn to teach it, to communicate it in a way that people can follow actionable steps and apply it in their lives and get a similar result, you, my friend, become a game changer. And if you learn how to expose what you know, then you can become a game changer to millions and millions of people. So how do you teach what you know? Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already, make sure that you smash that share button. There's somebody that you know on your timeline right now. There's somebody that you know who loves listening to podcasts, will get a lot of benefit from this. So we can no longer afford to hoard information. So smash that share button. If you're checking out on IG, hit that little airplane and share this with a couple people, man, so that they can learn to teach what they know and the profit in it. So how do you teach what you know? It's all about connections and communication. Teaching what you know is all about connections and communication, right? We know that people learn in a variety of ways, but one of the things that we know for certain, if you cannot make a connection with the person you're trying to teach, chances are they're not going to receive anything from you, let alone actually take action based on what you taught them. So connections are incredibly important if you're going to teach what you know. And here's how you make connections with people. And most of you guys don't want to hear this, but it is so true, man. You first must become vulnerable in order to make the connection. You have to give people something to relate to, right? Because if I don't give you something to relate to, if I'm not willing to become vulnerable with you, you're not going to let your walls down and become vulnerable with me. See, as a student, I have to be willing to become vulnerable and let you know what I don't know. And that's a problem for most people if there's no connection. I'm embarrassed that I don't know this. And if I can't have a connection with you, I'm not going to let my guards down to really open up to you that, man, I can't read, I can't write, I can't spell, I can't count, I can't use the internet. I don't know how to use a computer. I can't use my smartphone. See, we are in a society that says we're going to ridicule you for that which you don't know. Instead of saying, hey, let me help you learn and overcome and be successful in the areas that you don't know. Let me help you shore that up. Let me help you strengthen that. By default, the society that we've built says, listen, if you don't know something, you're going to get ridiculed. Therefore, people are embarrassed to even admit those things that they do not know. So, number one, if you are going to teach someone anything, especially in a way that will ultimately get them to buy from you, the very first thing that you must do is connect with them. You got to find a point of relatability. And the best way to connect with anybody is to you first become vulnerable. I'm not becoming vulnerable if you got your walls up. You got your walls up, I got my walls up, and we are at a stalemate. We are at an impasse because neither one of us wants to become vulnerable. If you as a teacher come from a high and mighty place looking down on me as the student, we can't connect. I'm not going to let you in. And we're going to be at an impasse. But if you as the teacher get down on my level, if you as a teacher can get me to relate to the fact that you at one point didn't know these things, you at one point felt the same way that I'm feeling, you at one point, or you understand where I'm coming from because you have a similar story, a similar background, or you've taught students with similar stories and similar background. If we can't get to that point first, you're not going to be able to teach me anything. So first thing you have to do is practice your ability and your willingness to connect with other people. The way you connect is by becoming vulnerable yourself. And if you let your guards down first, then those that you are trying to teach will ultimately let their guards down. And it is only at that place, man, where someone is willing to become vulnerable with you, can you get a true baseline for where they are, and then ultimately help them grow from there, right? If you think about a GPS, for instance, a GPS can't do anything for you unless it first knows exactly where you are. You as a teacher can't do anything for your student unless you first know where they are. And if you don't relate to them, if you don't become vulnerable yourself so they bring their walls down so you can assess exactly where they are, you're going to run yourself in circles trying to teach them because you don't know where their foundation is, right? So number one, if you're going to teach what you know, ultimately in a fashion that will allow you to monetize what you know, you have to connect with people. And that's not always easy. You can read books like How to Win Friends and Influence People. There's another one, I used to keep it on my desk. There's another one called The Art of Dealing with People. Read books on relationships. That is critical for you as a teacher to learn how to relate. Best way to relate is to become vulnerable yourself. That usually gives other people to be vulnerable, gives other people permission to be vulnerable with you. Once you've made the connection, now you have to learn what my mentor has been teaching me over the last 5 years. And I'm just now in year 5, really starting to pick up on it, is you have to learn how to put complex subject matter, complex material into simple frameworks that are easy to understand and easy to remember. He uses acronyms a lot. And I didn't understand why he was doing it, but it helped me to retain the information he was teaching me all the time. And guess what? That's why he does it. So shout out to my man, Brian Bean, for helping me in that area. I've got another great mentor in Henry Doris that I recently started working with, and he's opening my mind to a whole nother world of being a better coach myself, being a better leader. It's crazy, man, when you really humble yourself and you submit to the knowledge of others, man, you can really advance in this economy, man. Make sure you guys follow me on IG at Cortez Hustle STL. Let's see if you guys got any questions, comments, or observations. Morning, millionaire. What's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Relationship building through vulnerability. You are absolutely right, my friend. Listen, if you're not willing to be vulnerable, you can't teach me nothing. Because I'm going to have my wall up. We're taught, especially men, we're taught to be macho. We're taught to be stoic. We're taught to be hard-shelled. And in order for you to teach me anything, the first thing you got to do is figure out how to get me to let my guard down. How do I remove the hard shell so you can get to the inside? So frameworks, right? I'll give you one of my frameworks I gave you one of my frameworks last week. We'll go over this again so that you can understand what I mean by frameworks, right? How do you take a complex subject matter as exposing what you know and give it to someone in a spoon-fed, bite-sized way so that they can understand it, but also so that they can remember it. So when I teach how to expose what you know, I use an acronym called BOSS UP, right? BOSS UP, BOSSUP. Well, bossing up is a popular term right now. Everybody wants to be a boss. So I chose that as a way to give it to people in a way they can remember. So they can remember boss up, right? Okay, well, the B stands for when you're doing anything in business, especially when you're in the exposure phase and you're exposing people and building your authority, you want to make sure that you be your authentic self. That's what the first B stands for. Then the O stands for operate with integrity. If you want to be in this game long term, you've got to operate in integrity. The first S stands for study success. Successful people, successful systems, successful enterprises, study success so that you can model. Now, I want y'all to be clear on there's a difference between modeling and copying, right? I model a lot of the things that my coaches and mentors do, but I don't copy, right? They show me the framework, they show me why they're doing certain things, and I do similar things with my own spin. So be your authentic self, operate with integrity, study success. The second S in boss, set up systems. Guys, always remember this. Systems build wealth, not people. Systems build wealth, not people. Wealth is about time freedom and financial freedom. A lot of you can have financial freedom and not time freedom. You can have time freedom and not financial freedom if you don't have systems. You will never have them both unless you understand how to build systems. So systems are important. So be your authentic self, operate with integrity, study success, set up systems. Then the up, the U and the P. The U stands for understand your target market. Who is it that you're trying to reach with your message? Who is it that you're trying to reach with your products, with your services? You have to know them fundamentally well. And more importantly, you have to know the pain that they are in so you can speak to that. Vivian, good morning. Welcome to the stream this morning. And then the P in up stands for produce content with all of these things in mind. So when you think about creating frameworks, think about how you can create or take something that is complicated and put it in a simple package that's easy to digest, right? Using stories and analogies is something that you absolutely have to get great at if you're teaching what you know. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to get great at using analogies and telling stories, because people learn through story. It's called edutainment, right? Or infotainment, right? It is information packaged in a story that people can remember. So they remember the story first, and then you pile on top of that the lessons. And now it's like, okay, if I got this story, right, I can understand the lessons. One of my favorite stories I've been telling lately is the eagle and the storm, right? The eagle is one of the few birds that do not run from the storm, right? Eagles understand that if they fly into the storm, they're going to hit turbulence, and that turbulence is going to knock them backwards. But as it's knocking them backwards, at the same time, it's causing them to elevate. And as they continue to fly into the storm, they keep hitting these turbulences that's knocking them back a little bit, but elevating them. And ultimately, because they face their storm, they end up elevating until they get to the place where they fly above the storm. See, that's a story. Well, what's the lesson in that story? How many of the storms in your life have you been running from? What would happen if you turned around, instead of running from your storm, you actually faced it and ran towards it? Yeah, you're going to get hit with some turbulences that's going to knock you back a little bit, but then you're going to get elevated, and you keep pressing towards the mark. You're going to get knocked back a little bit, but you're going to get elevated. And by the time you get to the eye of the storm, the absolute worst part of the storm, you'd be above it looking down. You got to understand how to tell stories, how to use analogies to make complicated subject matter easy to remember and simple to understand with those lessons in it, right? How do you develop this skill? You do it by practice, Vivian. Every opportunity that I get to teach something, I take that opportunity, right? So even if it's something as simple as it is a teaching my niece something, my nephew something, my great niece, my great nephew something, and you get that opportunity and you pay attention as you're teaching, and you're looking for the light to come on. If the light doesn't come on, that means you have to rewind and give it to them another way, right? And as you're doing that, the more you do it, the more you get better at understanding the different types of approaches, right? So if the eagle in the storm didn't do it for you and the light bulb doesn't come on, then I have to figure out another story, another analogy, another acronym, another framework that I could use, right? So Vivian said, I had no choice but to face my storms. Yeah, as ugly as they may be, facing them is where your strength comes from. Facing them is where your strength comes from. So on the other side of this break, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about different mediums and different platforms that you could use to help you in teaching what it is that you know. So keep it locked right here. Hey, good morning, Wealth Champions. Hey, listen, if you want to be financially successful, then you have to do what financially successful people do. And I know there's a few things that all wealthy people have in common. Number one, they understand that building wealth is a team sport. Number two, they understand the power of capitalism and business enterprise. Number three, they love to use systems and leverage. And number four, they all have mentors. My name is H. Cortez, also known as Financial Health Mentor. And for the last 5 years, I've been helping hardworking Americans get all of these things in place with one single membership. If you want to learn more about that, go to myperfectmoneyplan.com. Again, that's myperfectmoneyplan.com. And you're going to get a team of professionals, so you're not building wealth by yourself. You're going to get a system that's going to help you transform your finances. And last but not least, you're going to get some great mentorship to help you execute your game plan. So again, go to myperfectmoneyplan.com, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from ThorntonOnlineMarketing.com. So we're talking about how do you monetize what you know. I teach 5 core principles that's necessary for you to take your gifts, talents, special abilities, and experience or expertise and turn it into income streams. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to first expose people to what you know. We've all been taught that when it comes to networking, it's about who you know. That's wrong, right? If you listen to someone like Dr. George Fraser of the Power Networking Conference, one of the greatest networkers of all time, right? He says, it's not about who you know. It's about who knows you and what they know about you. See, nobody can refer or recommend you to anything if they don't know anything about you, right? So make sure that you understand the power in exposing what you know. Then we're talking today in part 2 about teaching what you know. Can you empower other people? Can you take what you know and transfer that knowledge into another person? And if they execute the way you laid it out to them, will they get predictable results? If you can do that, ladies and gentlemen, you can make an untold amount of money in your life and your chosen endeavors from the things that you are gifted and passionate about. More than that, though, y'all, you will empower people. And that is where the truth is empowering other people. So if nobody knows what you do, that you're not necessarily part of a network, right? People have to know what it is that you do. They have to know something about you so that when someone thinks about monetizing their life, turning their gifts and talents into income, I'm hoping they're thinking about me. If somebody wants to know about becoming financially literate, hopefully they're thinking about the financial health mentor. If somebody is trying to understand branding and marketing, I'm hoping they're thinking about me, right? So expose what you know and then teach what you know. So we talked about why teach what you know, because it empowers other people, right? We talk about how to do it. You got to know how to use analogies, stories, frameworks, parables. You've got to be able to make complex subject matter simple and easy to digest, but also you have to deliver it in a way that people can take action with it, right? You got to deliver it in a way that it is actionable, right? It can't be theoretical. It can't be so tightly wound that people are intimidated to take action. Can you give them bite-sized, step-by-step, actionable information that if they take it, right, if they do it, then they're going to get some predictable results, right? Vivian says, I need your book. I don't have it. Monetize my life. Let me show you real quick where you're going to get that book from, Vivian. Real quick, let me show you guys a screen share. So let me stop this screen share first. And then let me show you real quick. If you go to my site, I'm going to put the link in the comments as well. But I want you to see, the book is great, but I've also added a video course to the book that will help you do 2 of these things. So I'm going to put this link to the site here, but if you go to Monetize My Life and you check out the Monetize My Life Influencer Bundle, you're going to get the book, and you're also going to get my course on how to become an influencer. And it's a dope combination because you're going to get the book's going to tell you how to monetize your life, but then how do you get your message out there so that people can begin to know, like, and trust you, see you as an authority, and ultimately want to partner with you, buy from you, recommend to you to their friends, and those sorts of things. So let me put this link in the comments so you guys can check that out. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. I would recommend the book and video course, how to monetize, how to become an influencer, along with the book Monetize My Life. So let's talk about some different mediums for teaching, right? We know that we communicate primarily in 4 ways, right? We communicate via video, we communicate via the written word, we communicate via audio, there's auditory learning, we communicate via images, right? But when you're teaching someone, you have to also incorporate a 5th, which is practical application, or what they call hands-on learning. So when you're thinking about the different mediums that you can use to teach people what you know, you can, like I have done, use the written word and take what you know and put it in a book, right? A physical book or an ebook, or even a blog, or some sort of written articles and magazines and different things of that nature, where you can use the written word to provide instructions to teach, right? That is a beautiful, beautiful medium, but some people don't know how to communicate via the written word. And some people don't learn via the written word. So if you only are teaching via the written word, you're missing out on a bunch of people who can't learn by reading it in the book. So that is a great medium, but you got to remember, if you're trying to reach the masses, you got to have multiple modalities of teaching what you know so you can reach more and more people, right? Then you have video. You have your courses, you have virtual workshops, webinars. That is you on video showing and demonstrating what it is that you're doing in a video format where people can see what's happening while you're saying what's happening, right? Some people have to look at a video. I'm that way, man. If I'm watching a video and I'm watching you do it and you're walking and talking me through it, I think that is the best way for me to learn. So you as an educator, you as the person who's trying to teach what you know so you can ultimately position yourself to sell what you know, you've got to find out or figure out how you are going to incorporate video into what you're doing, right? It's not difficult. You might not be the person that is in the video during the teaching. You might be the one that says, listen, I've come up with this framework. I don't like to be on video, but you might have to get someone else who is good on video. It's kind of like when, if you think about an infomercial, right? An infomercial requires somebody that is charismatic, someone who can break down the information while demonstrating how something is to be used at the same time. So maybe you're not that person, but you develop the framework, you have the way to teach, and then you use that, but you use somebody else in the video to do the teaching. But you should definitely incorporate some sort of video component to your teaching, right? It says video is the best, but I've become shy. And that's good to know where you are, Ms. Vivian, but you can overcome that, right? You can even overcome that by doing videos where you're not on camera, right? There are screenshot videos. So for instance, if I wanted to do a video like this, right? Let me remove my branding for a quick second. So I can do a video like this where I'm not in the video, but you hear my voice. So now I'm teaching and I'm pointing to certain things on the screen so that you can check this out, you can check that out. This is a way to do video or a video course of some sort without you necessarily having to be in the actual video. There's a lot of people who are very successful in doing videos like that. I know of a kid who did something like $20 million on YouTube doing reviews on toys, and he was never in any of the videos. He just had the camera on the toy where he unwrapped it, he unboxed it, and he just kind of talked about this, how it was, how the toy worked, how it performed, and all that kind of stuff. Made $20 million on YouTube doing that. Was never ever in the video, right? So there's ways that you can use video in your teaching, your tutorials without you having to be on camera. Then you have audio, right? Audio is another great medium. Now, I'm doing a video podcast right now, but when I submit the audio version to iTunes and Stitcher, they won't see the video. It will just be my voice, right? So you can still teach in with audio, but just remember, if they can't see what you're talking about, then you have to be very descriptive. So for instance, when I showed you guys the website to go to check out that product, I was not very descriptive. So my podcast listeners will probably be a little upset with me on that because I didn't describe what you guys were seeing, right? So so you can use a podcast, right? You can also use MP3 downloads. There's a lot of courses that I have. I even have some on my website where it's just an audio course, right? You plug in the audios and you listen to the instructions and you're learning something just via audio, right? There's a lot of college professors, there's a lot of schools and universities that provide this form of learning to their students, right? They can listen to a MP3 download of their course curriculum, their classwork, their professor speeches, and things of that nature. It's a great way for people who have the auditory learning skill set as their primary way of learning. Then there's also audio live streams, right? Again, if I went back to my screen share, I could be doing this live stream and you would never see my face, but I could be showing a PowerPoint. I can be showing some content, some images on the screen and talking you through certain things. So yes, Ms. Vivian, a podcast is a great way to teach. But do you guys know my very favorite form of teaching so that you get all of these elements at the same time? That is live workshops. See, if you are teaching a live workshop, you actually get all of these things at the same time. Remember, I'm talking about teaching for the purpose of monetizing what you know. Watch this. If I'm teaching a live workshop and I have the forethought to have a camera and a recorder, so people are recording the video, and I have a microphone where they're recording the audio, now do I not have the best of all worlds? I have a workshop going on, hands-on. People are learning and they're doing right in the workshop. But I also have a video crew filming the audio and the video and recording the whole thing. So I have that version of what it is that we're doing. Then if I wanted to create workbooks or books or ebooks or any other mechanism or medium from that, I can take all of the audio, have it transcribed, and now I have a book based on the live workshop. I can have a workbook created from the transcription. I can have the transcription put into a blog or an ebook or an article, right? from one session, one live workshop, I was able to create all of the other mediums from the live workshop. And that's one of the best ways to bring value to your community is when they attend the live workshop, they also get the recordings thereof. So live workshops are a great way to teach, especially those who need hands-on instruction. They need to be doing as they're learning, right? That's one of the best things for me is if you can be teaching me and I'm doing it as you're teaching me, man, I can pick up things so fast that way, right? So a live workshop can give you hands-on, but if you're smart, you might as well hire a crew to come in and record the workshop, right? And then you can take the recordings of the workshop and you can distribute the recorded workshop to those who learn via video. You can distribute the audio portion of the workshop to those who love via audio. You can have the whole thing transcribed. Now you can distribute that to people who love to learn via the written word. So that is the various mediums. Now, I'm sure there's some that we did not cover, but I just want to put you in the ballpark. The main types. Now you can think about different ways that you can do live workshops, virtual workshops, since we're in the middle of coronavirus, right? You can do think of different ways that you can do webinars and all of that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, man, if you are willing to become vulnerable with those that you want to teach, you relate to them so that there's a connection. They'll let their walls down and they become vulnerable with you. You can't teach anybody anything who thinks they already know everything, right? I'm gonna run that one back because I think y'all missed that. You can't teach anybody anything who's putting up a front like they already know everything. But when you become vulnerable, they let their guards down. And now they can let you know exactly where they are struggling, what it is they don't know, so that you can help them get to the next level, right? Yeah, many, many, many avenues there. So on the other side of this break, ladies and gentlemen, this last segment, I'm going to talk to you about some different platforms that you could use to distribute your teaching. So y'all make sure y'all keep it locked right here.
What if a product existed that allowed you to lose weight while you got the best sleep of your life? An all-natural supplement comprised of herbs, extracts, prebiotics, probiotics, and enzymes that work naturally with your body to reduce stress, invoke a relaxed state of mind and body, while simultaneously accelerating digestion and metabolism, resulting in a great night's sleep as you burn calories. The result is you sleep better and you wake up lighter than you went to bed. A world leader in nutritional products, Be Epic, introduces Accelerate, a special 2-capsule combination you take just before bedtime. One prepares your mind and body for a deeper night's sleep, while the other gently works with your body's chemistry to accelerate digestion, flush toxins, increase metabolism, and result in a lighter, leaner you every morning. Discover for yourself the life-changing benefits of this amazing supplement. Order your pack of Accelerate capsules today, backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Manage your body and mind naturally with Accelerate. Visit the website shown below or contact the person who sent you this video.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am your host, Cortez Hustle, aka the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite followpreneur from ThorntonOnlineMarketing.com. Make sure you guys do me a huge favor and go over to IG, those of you who are on that platform, and follow your boy at Cortez Hustle STL on the gram. So we're talking about part 2 of a 5-part series on monetizing your life. How do you take your gifts, talents, special abilities, experience, expertise, and passions and turn those things into income, ladies and gentlemen? Well, you do that in a few different ways. Number one, you have to first expose what you know, right, to people. How will they know, like, and trust you unless they have come to develop some sort of relationship with you? Then you add value to their lives by teaching them something. And that's what we are on today. Next week, we'll talk about selling what you know, the various ways that you could do that efficiently and effectively. And then we'll talk about adding automation beyond that. So we talked a little bit about why teaching what you know just makes sense, how to teach, becoming vulnerable, making a connection with someone first before you can teach them anything. We just talked about the different mediums in which you could use the written word, books, blogs, articles, ebooks, videos, courses, virtual workshops, webinars. Let me mention this one because I didn't say this one, but there's something called an e-course as well for those of you who like the written word, and that is teaching people through email, right? So people can actually buy a course from you, and it's a written course, but you're going to send them a lesson every day via email. That is another great way to educate people. Is through the written word. Then you got audio courses, podcasts, MP3 downloads, live audio streams, and then of course you have live workshops where people can be more hands-on, it can be more intimate, and you can really then take the recordings from those things and create all the other elements that we talked about. But let's talk about a couple platforms that you could use to bring your teaching to. Number one, that's really popular right now is the Zoom platform. Everybody's understanding the power of Zoom, especially the Zoom webinar platform. Not only can you create private, intimate, virtual workshops and webinars and video trainings, but with the webinar platform via Zoom, you can also stream those workshops live to Facebook and YouTube, and that's pretty cool. I've been doing that for the last few years. So that's an amazing platform. There's another platform called Kajabi. I do not use Kajabi anymore. I used to, but it's a great teaching platform. It allows you to create membership sites where people have a login and password, and they can get to your restricted content after they've already made their purchase. There's another platform called Teachable. I'm familiar with that one as well. I did at one point had one of my academies on the Teachable platform. That is also pretty dope. I've gone away from the actual membership sites as much because I'm going to talk to you about another platform that you can use for free here in a second. Builderall is another great platform that I've come to use. It's another one where you can create membership sites and actually create areas where people have to log in with a username and password. They only get that username and password after they pay or after they meet some sort of qualification to get into your private teaching area. And then you can let them in and kick them out if you need to, whatever. But that's another great platform. That is one that I currently use. I have a couple membership sites there for my MLM Influencer Secrets. That's for people who want to become masters at network marketing. I do have a course in there, and it's a membership site. But what I want to spend the rest of the hour talking to you guys about is the platform known as Facebook, right? Facebook allows you to create these groups, and your groups can be public or private. And if you wanted to teach in one of these groups, you can actually create your own membership, so to speak, where people will pay you to access your group. You let them into the group, and that's where all of your teaching can take place. I'm a part of a couple paid groups on Facebook, and that's the platform. One, speaking of, is the Black Billionaires Club. That is a group on Facebook where a lot of our teaching and our training takes place right inside of that group. So I'm going to show you real quick one of my groups. This is one of my free groups. And if you are not already in this group, you might want to go to, let me just put the link in here first, and then I'll show you www.facebook.com /groups/wealth creation. All right, so facebook.com/groups/wealth creation playbook. That is my free community where you can connect and partner with me in a variety of ways. Where I just go, and that group is strictly for me to teach in a few different areas. But one of the reasons that I like Facebook groups is they allow you to do something called create learning communities. And let me just go ahead and share my screen and I'll show you what I mean by that. So in Facebook as a learning community, and I apologize to my my podcast listeners, if you want to check this out, then just go to facebook.com/financial health mentor or youtube.com/financial health mentor to see the actual the group and the demonstration that I'm showing right now. But inside of Facebook, you have the option to create various communities. So inside the Wealth Creation Playbook, it is set up as a learning community. With a learning community, of course, you can have your discussions, you can have your about us, but you can also have what's called units. So that allows me to break my content up and to share it based on different units. So inside the Wealth Creation Playbook, we have different units. We have a wealth mindset playbook. How do you get your mindset right around wealth? We have the cash flow management playbook. These are money tips on financial matters and how to build cash flow. Then we have our credit repair playbook. This is all about credit repair, obviously. We have our entrepreneurship playbook. This is more about entrepreneurship, different business opportunities, ways that you can make money. Then we have our investment playbook, which is all about various types of investments. We have our branding and marketing playbook for those of you who are already in business and you're trying to get the most out of social media. You're trying to figure out how to leverage different marketing modalities, and that's what that one is all about. And then we have our tools and resources playbook. And then we have some of the other miscellaneous playbooks as well for our digital marketing platform for Builderall, as well as MWR training, which is another opportunity that I'm involved in. So this group allows me to not only create a private space for me to teach in, but that space can then be broken down into different areas so that when you come into this group, you can hit units and you can look at the various units and see exactly what it is that you are interested in and go straight to that unit. So, and I put content in here almost 2 or 3 times a week. On a good week, on a bad week, I might just post once, but I do live Q&A sessions in the group, various ways for you to, again, be vulnerable with your followers, make that connection so they bring their guards down so that you can learn, so that they are more eager to learn from you. It's a great, great way to use a free platform to distribute your teaching. So don't sleep on Facebook, y'all. It's as much as it is a social media platform, there's a lot that you could do with Facebook in terms of building your tribe, building your community. You can set it up to where people can PayPal you the payment. Once you receive payment, then you can have them send you a friend request on Facebook, add you. You can then add them to your group. If you're doing a monthly subscription, then you can obviously audit your group every month. Those who have paid, they stay in the group. If they have not paid, then you can decide whether you're going to kick them out of the group or what have you. But that is a great way for you to teach. And Vivian was asking, how do you develop that skill set? Well, guess what? If you had a private Facebook community around something that you're passionate about, that you wanted to teach, and you just went into that group and you started to teach. And then after each session, you ask for feedback. What could I have done to make this better? What was it that you did not understand, right? And you'll get a sense of that because whenever you're teaching something, if people have a bunch of questions after you've taught it, then clearly you need to refine your message, right? Or you didn't include enough content during your teaching if there's a lot of holes that left a lot of questions. But definitely start teaching, ask for feedback, and let people know that it's okay to give you their candid feedback, and then you can help. That's going to help you become a better teacher, and it's going to help you provide better value to them and empower them more and more. So, guys, if you have not already gotten your copy of Monetize My Life, the influencer bundle, then you definitely want to go and check that out. Let me just show it to you guys one more time before we get out of here. And you'll see that it is a powerful book and course. And guys, for less than $50, you can learn how to design a personal brand, how to present yourself in a way that inspires and leads, learn the psychology of brands and followers, and understand how to make people love what you have to say, how to create a mission statement, how to select the right niche for yourself, follow a step-by-step program to become a powerful influencer, earn a living doing what you love. And then, of course, the book, Monetize My Life, is going to expose you to the 4 incredibly simple ways to turn your passions into profit with little to no startup costs. It is a very, very, very powerful bundle, guys. Less than $50, right? $48.38. And of course, you would pay $5 shipping for the book. But man, this thing, I've been getting some great feedback from both when I sold them separately. Now I decided to put them together as a bundle, so it can help people do both things very well. As you go through the book and you identify that gift, talent, or special ability, then you're like, okay, I got it. I know what I want to build my business around. Now it's all about how do you now communicate that message so people know what it is that you do and what it is that you have to offer. So you got the book, Monetize My Life, and you got the course, how to become an influencer. Those two together will lay a solid foundation for you. And I just want you to always remember, man, sometimes we think that building wealth or creating that second or third stream of income is incredibly difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, what wealthy people have figured out that most people just have not yet is wealthy people figure out how to find 1 or 2 ways to get paid for 1 or 2 things that they already love to do, right? I want to simplify this for you so that you can really understand. Wealthy people find 1 or 2 ways to get paid for 1 or 2 things. I didn't say they found a million ways to get paid. I didn't say they found a million things that they can get paid for. I said, no, 1 or 2 ways. They find 1 or 2 ways to get paid for 1 or 2 things that they already love to do. And then they build a system around it. That's the key to financial success. That's the key to business success. That's the key to entrepreneurship. Find 1 or 2 ways to get paid for 1 or 2 things that you already love to do, then build a system around it. That's it. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. So remember to go to ThorntonOnlineMarketing.com to get the Monetize My Life influencer bundle. And that's going to really lay a foundation for you to transform yourself, especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to turn your gifts, talents, special abilities into income. That will that course and that book bundle will show you exactly how to do it effectively and efficiently. Remember to follow your boy on IG at Cortez Hustle STL. I've got some great things that I do over there that I don't necessarily do anywhere else because that's a different type of platform. So you might want to follow me over there as well. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/financial health mentor. Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, like the Facebook page, facebook.com/financial health mentor. And then for those of you who love to take the podcast with you, you can go to your favorite podcasting sources like iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartMedia, wherever you download your favorite podcast from, guys, we are there. So make sure you guys go check that out. Until I talk to you guys next week, where we're going to be talking specifically about selling what you know and the different ways that you can do that. We're actually going to combine both. We're going to talk about selling what you know and digitizing what you know together in next week's show. So until then, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. And don't forget, share the show.